Well, I would like to start off by introducing myself and thank you for taking time out of your day to attend Peninsular's first nationwide webinar. And my name is Deanna Kuskalis, and I am the Senior Marketing Associate here at Peninsular Cylinder Company. And I work directly with Bill Tyler, who is Peninsular's National Sales and Marketing Manager. And in the webinar today, we are going to be focusing on our recently launched digital application data sheet. So we're going to be covering, what it is, when to use it, why it's important to use when identifying special cylinder designs, and how to use it to your advantage. We do believe that sessions like this should be limited to about 15 to 20 minutes max to be effective. And please hold all your questions until the end of the presentation. If you do have a question during it, please use the little chat box on the bottom of your toolbar. Type in your question and we'll be happy to address that at the end. So what exactly is the digital application data sheet? For some time now, Peninsular has provided an application data sheet which is used to collect pertinent data aiding in the design of special, non-cataloged cylinder products. And as you may be aware, our configurator is used to create ordering information and drawings for all 7 of our standard products, including a myriad of simple modifications. But what is the form? Our new digital application data sheet is a web-based version of the manual application data sheet. And in creating it, we streamlined the whole manual process of printing the application data sheet out and scanning it back in and faxing it and all that minutia that makes it a longer process than it really should be. Now let's take a look at some key benefits of this new form. We know that a lot of our distributors are traveling a lot and they're driving to customers, they're flying to customers, they're on the go. In designing this form on our current website, which is a responsive platform, that means that our new digital application data sheet can fit to whatever screen that you're using. So whether you're on a tablet or a phone or a laptop, you can use this form on the go. And again, as we were talking about, you're skipping a lot of manual steps when you're able to fill something out online, and that means there's no scribble scratch. All the crucial application details that you're providing, the whole communication process gets a lot clearer, and it's also a lot quicker. So you're able to provide more data in less time and having a web-based version. And also, upfront information means less backtracking down the road. It's cutting out all those back and forth that get quite time consuming. Now, when we say ignore the noise, and we'll get into this a bit more as we actually go onto our website, but what essentially that is referencing is the way that our form actually functions. So when you are choosing between the selections of whether it's a hydraulic cylinder that you're getting specs for or an air cylinder, whether it's imperial versus metric, the drop downs that pop up are only specific to the cylinder type and focus, which allows you to really hone in on the exact cylinder model you're trying to provide details for. So that's what we mean by ignoring the noise. And then at the very end of the form, at the very bottom, right before you hit submit, you are able to upload an image. So whether that is maybe a photo of your application or a drawing, a lot of times it's useful to have a visual understanding of what's going on with the application along with all of the written details. Now, before we go to the website, we wanted to know when you should use the digital application data sheet. And that's for applications that have known side load, require certifications, whether that's a military specification or a civil engineering certification, require stroke lengths over 72 inches. Let's say there's a caustic or unique chemical environment or a washdown, cylinders requiring special coating, installations with a high degree of shock or slamming. So this is a good reference list to understand when to use this digital application data sheet. So let's go to the online form. Now, as a reminder, when you get to our website, when you get to www.peninsularcylinders.com, go over on our nav bar to Tips and Tools. And when you hover over it, that should give you a little drop down, and it's right at the top, Application Data Sheet. And you'll see that we have linked all of our sizing charts, and those are available right at the top. And what you can even do here, we added in text boxes. So you can put in your dimensions, and you can even save these and submit these along with your final submission. So you see at the top here, just really like any other standard form that's out there on the web, we're asking for your general contact information, and that of course includes your email address and your telephone number so we can understand and get in touch with you. Now here's where all the details come into play. So let's say you are a distributor and you are looking to provide application details for a hydraulic model, and we're in the US, it's Imperial. Here's where you can indicate your working pressure, your maximum operating pressure, fluid type and brand, and that's because we chose hydraulic. Now if you look at the bore diameter, all of these sizes listed in this drop down are listed in inches. And that is because, again, we're ignoring the noise. We selected Imperial here. But let's say that we selected metric. You'll see that this changed right away to metric, and it's indicating what will be available in this drop down, and that is a list of sizes in millimeters. We'll go back to Imperial. Now, you'll also see here is a selection of mounting styles. These are all NFPA standard mounting styles that you can select from, all listed in this drop-down. Now, here are all the different port types available: NPT, BSPT, SAE, and again, only sizes relevant to the port type are available. So let's just say that I switch from NPT to SAE. You see how the sizes change. Port positioning. And here's where we get into weight of load moved on extend, on retract, cylinder cycle rate per hour, per day, temperature variations, minimum temperature range, maximum temperature range. And here's another key detail about the application. What are the environmental conditions? Are there corrosive chemicals present? Is there water present? Is it outdoors? And you can even describe any other varying environmental conditions that you may have in these other box. And we're getting into some more specifics here with, what industry are you in? What type of machine is the cylinder used on? And again, here towards the bottom, you can describe the application in more detail. Again, the more information up front, the less backtracking. And here's where I was referencing about attaching images and having a visual understanding of what's going on with your application. Just hit Browse, and then wherever you saved it in your computer, you upload it and click Open. Now, we're going to give an example of Submitting an application data sheet, a digital application data sheet, without having filled out the information where there is an asterisk in that field, and that means that that would otherwise be required. So I'm going to try hitting submit without having provided those details. It brings you right back up to the top and lets you know, hey, you're missing stuff. There's a problem with your submission. And it highlights the specific fields that you missed information on. But let's say that you did provide all the details that we were asking for and you hit submit. What happens after that? The form that you submit will be immediately forwarded to our customer service department for processing. If you are a distributor, the request will be logged and the respective RSM will be advised of this new activity. If the customer is a user or OEM contacting us directly, the request will be logged and the respective RSM will be advised of this new activity. The RSM will advise the customer service representative which distributor will receive the lead. In the event additional information is required, the requester will be contacted. Once completed, a quote will be prepared and forwarded to the appropriate party. Now we have some time for questions.
Clear as mud, huh, Gordon?
What's that?
It clear as mud?
Yes. No, it's very clear. No, it's not as clear as mud. No, it's very, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty intuitive, the way you go down through the questions, and I like the way that, you can't put the wrong size port on, a particular cylinder. So it looks good.
Yeah, a couple of questions, because this is, we ran this webinar basically the last 2-3 weeks of April. And some of the questions that came up is like, why is this faster? What's it going to do? Well, prior to, if you remember the first or second slide, Deanna showed that we actually have a application data form that was used to write out all the information, and that goes to the distributor package. Like if you have a special application, fill this out. And sometimes it's used and sometimes it's not. And when it's not used and it's not complete, you've got a request, goes to customer service, they send it over to engineering. Engineering takes a look at it and says, what's the maximum operating pressure? Then it goes back to customer service goes back to the customer, gets the answer. Customer service then goes back to engineering, and as much as we'd like to say that it goes to the top of the pile, it doesn't. And then engineering gets to it again, and then all of a sudden they want to know, well, what fluid are you using? And then that same process goes all over again. So that's why we put that deal in there, where if you don't complete it with all the asterisks, you can't submit it, because once we were said and done, we went to engineering and said, see this sheet? If we gave you all these answers, would you ever have any problems designing a cylinder? And they said, no. So we said, that's the way it's going to look. So then we went ahead and moved it. And we did a couple social media blasts about it, but we felt it was necessary that we reached out to our network or distribution network and say, this is what it is. And if you're not comfortable with it, let's take a look. So that's why these webinars are taking place. And our plan is to generate a special quotation within 3 to 5 working days. And a guy that uses it all the time, who's very good at it, is like Bill Mortimer. I don't think he sells anything standard when it comes to cylinders anyway. And we get that information from him, and the same thing with Mikey Spadaro. Used to work for me at Miller, actually. he too has, you know, a lot of special applications. And so this is, you know, if you want a standard cylinder, you go to our configurator. If you want a special cylinder, fill out the application data sheet. We've got enough experience in our engineering department to come up with a cylinder with a value-added feature that solves some of our customers' problems. So we just, hey, you know, in your role with that company, the more people you tell about this, a lot of these, Deanna will tell you that this session is available. You'll get it in a format where you'll be able to share it with other people. And we're talking about just doing a YouTube on it too. So.
Oh, great. Yeah.